Welcome back to Crash Course in Medieval Armor, and today we're covering the neck. In late antiquity, Roman legionnaires wore a focale, which was a thick padded piece of linen or wool around the neck. It was primarily used to protect the skin against chafing from heavy armor, but it also provided a little bit of defense against cuts as well. In the early Middle Ages, this developed into a thick collar on a linen gambeson, which was heavy cloth armor. It may not look like it, but this cloth armor was surprisingly effective, and it was a cheap way to protect your peasant levies if your cash was limited. If you had a little bit more money, you might opt for leather collars, which were sometimes reinforced with metal studs, rings, or plates. Lots of helmets also included neck defense in the form of neck flanges on lamellar and spangen helms. In one historical example, the Anglo-Saxon Sutton Hoo helmet had long cheek pieces which protected the upper neck. Other helmets had chainmail curtains called aventails or comments. Other popular chainmail options were the coif, which was like the top half of a hoodie almost, and the standard, which only covered the neck and shoulders. Chainmail is excellent at resisting slashes, but it was weaker against thrusting strikes, so those who could afford it opted for plate armor. One popular option was the bevor, which protected both the front of the neck, the chin, and sometimes even the upper shoulders. It was best worn with a salet, and it was more lower face armor than strictly neck armor. The gorget or gorget, I've heard both, was another popular option. It was originally the name for a piece of linen that women would wrap around their necks, but as is often the case, armor followed fashion trends. Though the gorget did not protect as much of the neck as bevor, it protected more of the lower chest, and it also served as an anchor point for the pauldrons on the shoulders. Gorgets evolved over time, going from rigid plates to articulated gorgets made of interlocking plates. Some had integrated shoulder plates as well. Eventually, as firearms began to dominate the battlefield and full-body armor grew obsolete, the gorget became more of a ceremonial piece to denote rank and status, slowly shrinking until it became more of a pendant than anything else. The bevor evolved as well, eventually developing into the falling buff, which folded downward for comfort and extended upward to lock into the helmet itself. As time went on and armor grew more advanced, the locking gorget was designed to be paired with the armée. The pieces fit together to form a telescoping shell around the neck with virtually no gaps. The most advanced version was the close helm collar, which could spin all the way around. The goal was to allow the armor to be more flexible than the man inside, so that there would be no limits to his movement while still protecting him completely. As always, there are hundreds of variants of every one of these forms depending on region, century, application, etc. But at any rate, be sure to come back next week for shoulder armor.